met first to discuss with Zbigniew in Prague, we had this idea of let's make something together. You know, it should be really about that. The artist is not alone when making art. It's always, we are always several or many who participates, I don't know, physically, directly or indirectly, but it's never the work of oneself only. We started and it went somehow, and it looked like we really will do that and come to an end. I was already, there was already, from Zbigniew's side, there was a clear situation of installation, how this will come into the space. From my side, there was already a recording of the painting as I saw it, yeah, and we knew exactly how we will put it together, and suddenly it came 24th of February, and we heard about invasion of Russia to Ukraine, military invasion, and it was a shock. It was a shock. We, not only me, but all people couldn't find the balance for several days. And suddenly I understood what we are doing makes no sense. It is impossible to just speak as nothing is happening and you just speak about your own kind of processing the things, like we are living in the neutral, quite okay world, while in fact this disaster is reaching us very closely. Yeah. So I called Zbigniew and we spoke to you, and we absolutely decided that something must happen, that this new piece needs to be political and actually reacting onto the situation, not just to us. And that was the moment when we decided to bring in my older work from 2015, where I am giving a tribute to two people whom I know, who were my friends, who are not anymore with us, and they lived in Kiev, and they played in Kiev a very crucial role in the cultural sphere of the life in Kiev during the 70s and 80s. This was the period of Soviet Union, where a lot of things were restrictively put into some kind of framework which you couldn't break. Yeah? And these people were able to be within that framework, creatively not going against it, but enriching it to new and another qualities, the qualities of real understanding of the universe, and sort of contextualize it in the almost a cosmologic way. Yeah? And that was, at that time, that was a sort of a mental and intellectual life of Kiev. These things disappeared. And now Ukraine is being destroyed materially and psychically in a huge moment, and I decide in a huge dimension. And I decided I will take this work from 2015, which is the 2-channel projection, and add the third channel to it, in order to give this past value to this terrible exclamation of the war. So it is a sound, concrete sound from the places of disaster, plus the internet cameras looking at the dead towns, you know, the night when nothing is happening, only you hear explosions. This kind of not the atrocities. I am not into the showing atrocities of the war and give it some kind of importance to bring it into the public. What I want to share is the disaster of the war, which is close to our peaceful life, which is very much reminding us on our calm situation. But we know this is in Kiev, where the lives of people are exposed to a risk, while we can sleep with the same calm city in the night, with the lights of electricity, as if nothing is happening, because we are living in the situation as if nothing is happening. So this was my idea, how to put this. And it suddenly brought the whole exhibition into a little bit shifted dimension.
For me, it's exhibition temporary thought, temporary space, which is done by the collective. It's based on the collaboration, actually. So when I see my role here in this exhibition, like co-curator or architect or designer of the show, and also was me given to participate on interpretation of your work. That only me, the Beatrice, also like curator, helped with selection of the artworks and making kind of the interpretation of artwork and putting next to each other, and also exhibition crew, installation crew, who help us to define it.
Certain point in my life, I emigrated to Soviet Union, and I changed completely the ambience, and I found myself in a very specific situation, which was different to Czechoslovakia, although we were in one socialist bloc, but culturally and also materially there was quite a discrepancy. And I found myself in the situation where I was surrounded by a wonderful and very, very interesting people, which was the goal why I emigrated, in fact. But at the same time, in a kind of situation which I could call emergency, when you have to fight and make much more effort to make your daily life. Yeah? It was not easy. Yeah. But at the same time, this 12 years in Soviet Union made me a political person. Together with this, I also grew up and developed myself into, finally came out as a non-binary person, then the terminology was LGBT, lesbian practice. Yeah? So when I came out and I understood that this is one of the things which is completely, blinding and silencing us within the new regime, which is speaking about freedom, about the freedom of expression, about the right to be a subject, about the right to be an individual, and on this individual everything is, based on this. And suddenly this is completely neglecting me as an individual in all my needs, in all my rights. So I started to make some kind of practice with the photography, working with my body as a political entity, not as an autobiographical description of my experience or something like this, but as visualizing and bringing into the picture the things which work with all the others too, you know. It was not based on identity of being lesbian. It was based on being flattened and making invisible and marginalized as a human being as you are, you know. So my erotic videos or all these things are not having an identitarian element. I'm not speaking as lesbian or as homosexual or as queer. I'm speaking for all and everything what is in between, which exists in the reality. This is the condition if we are taking serious the idea of freedom and idea of being oneself. Then we have to respect this and see it and speak about it. And that was 90s when I started to do this.